been 10 days or so since the Isla Vista shootings. I've been trying to keep my mouth shut and let other people explain these increasingly popular attacks, but in offering their explanations, reporters and others keep making two mistakes. The more obvious blunder is to present some overly simplistic explanation. It's because of misogyny, it's because of the NRA, it's because of Seth Rogen and Judd Apatow movies, it's because of a personality disorder. Bloodbaths are usually a bit more complicated than that. The other mistake is that the people coming up with the explanations have never been so enraged at the world that they just want to see the end of it and to cause as much pain and destruction as possible on their way out. If you haven't experienced that level of rage, you're not going to explain these attacks correctly. It's like an old lady's bingo team trying to explain the actions of a heroin addict. If you don't know what the heroin addict is experiencing, you're not going to understand his actions. Now, I don't know what it's like to sit around crying about girls all day, but I do know what it's like to hate the world so much that you want to kill everyone you see. Not like that now, but I used to be. And I know what it's like to start a bloodbath. I just got caught really early in mine, and I got a second chance. After heading to a couple of mental hospitals and a few prisons. So I hereby declare myself to be an expert by experience. And I think we need to start discussing these killings because we haven't seen the last of the disgruntled American narcissist. Let's meet our test subject.
Hi. Elliot Rodger here.
Hi there, Elliot. What you planning on doing?
On the day of Retribution, I am going to enter the hottest sorority house of UCSB. And I will slaughter every single spoiled, stuck-up, blonde slut I see inside there.
Why would you want to do something like that, Elliot?
I'm 22 years old, and I'm still a virgin.
So was Tim Tebow. But he didn't go on a killing spree, he went and built a hospital in the Philippines. Why are you so different?
For the last 8 years of my life, ever since I've hit puberty, I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires.
Why do you think that is, Elliot?
I don't know why you girls are so repulsed by me. It doesn't make sense.
Makes a little sense. In fact, it makes a lot of sense.
I feel so invisible as I walk through my college because none of the girls there pay attention to me.
So girls are ignoring you and avoiding you. I'm thinking there might be a reason, Elliot.
There are so many beautiful girls here, but none of them give me a chance, and I don't know why.
I can think of several reasons, the most important being that you've got stalker written all over you. Girls have stalker alarms, so any girl who's around you can sense that if she pays the slightest attention to you, you'll become obsessed with her. And when she eventually tries to avoid you because of your perverse obsession, that's when you'll turn into Jack the Ripper.
I'm beautiful. You can't deny that.
You suffer from narcissistic personality disorder.
I'm civilized.
If by civilized you mean really, really creepy, I agree with you completely, Elliot.
Intelligent.
Whiny?
Sophisticated.
Spoiled?
I'm such a magnificent guy.
Even the way you drink coffee is creepy.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
You make this creepy face all the time. The way you laugh's no picnic either.
Yes. You girls have something against me. I don't know what it is.
Notice that Elliot Rodger's problem is Elliot Rodger. He's a good-looking guy. He dresses nice. He's traveled the world. He drives a BMW. Surely he can get someone to pay attention to him, but he can't. Why? Because he's a sick, twisted, creepy egomaniac who laughs like an overly polite serial killer. But who does Elliot blame for his problems? Everyone but himself. Why is that? Let's start with 3 things that have been addressed in articles about Elliot that are actually relevant. They're not enough to explain his actions, but they're a significant part of the background. First, human beings have a need, a basic human need for significance. We have to believe that we're important and that what we do matters. Some people look for this significance in a specific place.
Girls, all I've ever wanted was to love you and to be loved by you. I've wanted a girlfriend. I've wanted sex. I've wanted love, affection, adoration. But you think I'm unworthy of it.
Second, naturalism, at least practical naturalism, is becoming the norm for many young people. Naturalism is the view that the natural world is all that exists. Even if you believe in God or something supernatural, you might still be a practical naturalist in that it doesn't make any difference to you. Now, you can live a perfectly normal life as a practical naturalist, but if that happens to be your worldview, whatever significance you're going to find, it has to be something you find in the natural world, because there's nowhere else to go. So if you don't find your significance in this world, you don't have much to live for.
Do you know how much misery you've caused me?
Third, it's been pointed out that we now live in an entitlement culture. You deserve whatever anyone else has. If that guy over there is rich, you should have that too. If that kid over there gets a trophy, you should get one too. And if someone has more than you have, that must be a bad person, because you deserve it just as much as he does. And if he's not sharing, well, he must just be evil. He must be evil if he's withholding what is rightfully yours. The sense of entitlement we're familiar with usually has to do with finances. Elliot simply applied it to girls and concluded that he deserved as many girls as anyone else. Since no one gave him what he rightly deserved, the world seemed unjust.
It's an injustice, a crime. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's such an injustice.
Those 3 background factors are important, but they need to be amplified if they're going to end in a massacre rather than in a suicide. Narcissism was the great amplifier for Elliot. Human beings need significance. The narcissist needs much more significance. Naturalists need to find their significance in this world. Narcissists need to be the center of attention in this world. People have a sense of entitlement. The narcissist is entitled to much, much more. Elliot was like the star in his own little solar system, but instead of viewing other people as stars in their own systems, he wanted them to be planets orbiting him. He wanted an heliocentric universe, and when people refused to orbit him, he got angry.
You girls have never been attracted to me. I don't know why you girls aren't attracted to me, but I will punish you all for it.
So Elliot's angry. Lots of people are angry. You might be angry. But it's what happens next that decides whether you become a killer or not. If you don't have many friends because you tend to creep everyone out, you have plenty of time to sit around and think.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about how sad and unfair my life has been.
And what do you think about? You think about how wrong everyone is for not doing what they should do. You think about how they should be punished for their crimes. You think about punishing them yourself, giving them what they deserve.
You denied me a happy life, and in turn, I will deny all of you life.
There's a kind of pleasure that comes with this mental justice, fantasizing about being more powerful than those who've wronged you, imagining yourself punishing the wicked. It's a pathetic pleasure, but if it's all you have, you'll soon be sitting around thinking about torturing and murdering people all day long. And after a while, your desire for vengeance will be just as strong as your desire for whatever else it was that people withheld from you. In Elliot's case, lots of girls and sex. Now, you don't just have a desire for girls, you have an equally strong desire for retribution.
If I had it in my power, I would stop at nothing to reduce every single one of you to mountains of skulls and rivers of blood.
But these fantasies still have to be turned into action, and that happens after you come to 3 important realizations. 1, you realize that you've been duped, you've been deceived. The world tricked you into thinking that you have to go along with the pattern, this pattern of going to school for a while, then working for a few decades, maybe getting a family along the way, eventually moving to Florida and dying in a nursing home. Why should you follow this pattern, especially when you're not even happy? No one ever explained it to you. Society simply brainwashed you into mindless conformity, the same society that made you miserable. Why not come up with your own way of doing things?
I hate all of you. Humanity is a disgusting, wretched, depraved species.
2, you realize that if your life is miserable and you don't care whether you live or die, the world can't hurt you. If you decide to go on a killing spree, what can the world do to you? Kill you? Who cares? You're going to die anyway. Why not skip to the end? Why not skip over those extra 60 years of pain and misery? The only leverage the world had on you was fear. Once you lose that fear, the world has no power over you. 3, you recognize an important difference between your 2 greatest desires. You still desire whatever it was that got you angry when people didn't give it to you, but you also desire vengeance, punishment, retribution. The difference between these 2 desires is that you can't have one, but you can have the other, and you can have it anytime you want. Getting girls to love you when you're really, really creepy is not in your power. But it is in your power to kill the girls who reject you. Given the choice between something you can't have and something you can have, who wouldn't go with the one that you can actually attain?
All you popular kids, you've never accepted me, and now you'll all pay for it.
That's when you start planning. And at this point, it's only a matter of time before people die. There's no turning back because you finally found a way to be significant. Everyone who ignored you before, they'll pay attention to you now. People who look down on you are going to see you on every news channel. You'll be burned into their memories forever.
Well, now, I will be a god compared to you. You will all be animals. You are animals, and I will slaughter you like animals. I'll be a god, exacting my retribution on all those who deserve it.
Why be invisible when you can be immortal? Why be a ghost when you can be a god? Which would you choose? Oh, you'd rather go on living your normal life? That only works if you've got something to live for, my friends. And there are plenty of Elliot Rodgers out there who think that they don't. They just haven't decided what to do about it yet. One of the greatest nightmares of the 21st century will be the endless supply of angry narcissists who finally realize that the only way they can hope to attain the significance they so richly deserve is by annihilating people like you and me. And why not do it? Because it's wrong? Who are you to impose your morality on others, especially others who think they're better than you? Seems we've stumbled upon a recipe for retribution, my friends. We can either sit back and see what happens after we've let it bake for a while, or we can change the recipe. I'd like to change the recipe, specifically the naturalism, the narcissism, and the entitlement. But if we instead decide to let it bake, better stock up on candles. Plenty of vigils coming our way.
Oh, check it out. There's me. In all my fabulousness. Oh yeah. Elliot Rodger. I am so awesome.